Hey, I'm Izzy. We usually think of history as battles, rulers, and inventions, but what about the invisible forces that have shaped our world? What if I told you that tiny organisms, plagues have redrawn borders, toppled empires, and changed how we live? Today, we're diving into the forgotten plagues that transformed human history. These aren't just old stories. They're the hidden currents that shaped our society's economies and even our ideas. Let's explore how these microscopic foes became world-changing forces and why understanding them matters now more than ever. Ready? Let's go! Picture Rome at its peak, 165 AD, powerful, sprawling, seemingly unstoppable. Then, soldiers returned from the east, bringing not just spoils but a deadly pestilence, the Antonine Plague. Likely smallpox or measles, it swept through the empire, killing millions. Rome's bustling streets turned silent as high fevers and horrific pustules claimed lives daily. The army was crippled, farms abandoned, and the economy faltered. Tax revenues plummeted, and the empire's strength was shaken to its core. The psychological toll was immense: helplessness, fear, and a desperate search for meaning. Religious fervor surged, mystery cults grew, and Christianity found new ground as people sought hope. The Antonine Plague didn't cause Rome's fall, but it exposed vulnerabilities and accelerated decline. It's a powerful example of how disease can reshape history, exploiting the very interconnectedness that made empires strong. Rome's story reminds us even the mightiest civilizations are at the mercy of biology. Fast forward to the Byzantine Empire, 541 AD. Emperor Justinian dreams of restoring Rome's glory. But then comes the Plague of Justinian, Yersinia pestis, the same bacterium behind the Black Death. It arrives via trade routes, explodes in Constantinople, and kills thousands daily. Bodies pile up, burial rites are abandoned, and the city is paralyzed by fear. The plague recurs for 2 centuries, killing up to 50 million people, over a quarter of the world's population. Justinian survives, but his ambitions are shattered. The military is crippled, the economy collapses, and the empire never fully recovers. The classical world fades, and the Middle Ages begin. The Plague of Justinian wasn't just a Byzantine disaster, it reshaped the Mediterranean. It's a stark lesson: pandemics can redraw the map and change the course of civilizations. Now, the most infamous pandemic, the Black Death, mid-1300s, Yersinia pestis strikes again, this time with even greater fury. It arrives in Europe via trading ships, spreads rapidly, and kills with terrifying speed. Buboes, fever, and death within days. Medicine is powerless and panic reigns. Up to 200 million die worldwide. Europe loses up to 60% of its population. Entire villages vanish. Fields go untended, and social order collapses. Despair, fanaticism, and scapegoating follow. Minority groups, especially Jews, are wrongly blamed. But the Black Death isn't just an ending. It's a catalyst. Labor shortages empower peasants, feudalism cracks, and new opportunities emerge. Society is upended, hierarchies challenged, and innovation is sparked. The trauma shifts worldviews, paving the way for the Renaissance. The Black Death shows how catastrophe can drive profound change. Even in darkness, societies adapt and transform. This pandemic didn't just devastate, it reshaped Europe's future. The legacy of the Black Death is a reminder: out of crisis, new worlds are born. Disease can be both destroyer and creator, and its impact still shapes us today. Jump to the 1800s. Industrial cities, global trade, and a new threat: cholera. The third cholera pandemic sweeps the world, earning the name Blue Terror for the way victims' skin turned blue from dehydration. Overcrowded cities with poor sanitation are perfect breeding grounds. Millions die as cholera spreads through contaminated water. Panic reigns, but the cause is a mystery. Most blame bad air. Enter John Snow, who traces an outbreak to a single water pump in London. His work proves cholera is waterborne, not airborne, a breakthrough for public health. This sparks massive sanitation projects, like London's sewers, and transforms cities. The pandemic forces governments to recognize the link between environment and disease. Modern public health is born from this crisis. The Blue Terror brought suffering, but also revolutionized how we fight disease. Clean water and sanitation become the foundation of healthier cities. Cholera's legacy is a safer, cleaner world. 1918. World War I rages, and then a new killer emerges: the Spanish flu. It spreads globally at lightning speed, infecting a third of humanity. Unlike typical flu, it strikes healthy young adults hardest. Hospitals are overwhelmed, public life grinds to a halt, and fear is everywhere. Up to 100 million die, more than the war itself. The world is left reeling, scarred by loss and uncertainty. The pandemic exposes the need for better public health, disease surveillance, and research. It spurs the birth of virology and shapes modern medicine. Socially, it disrupts economies, labor, and even the war's outcome. Yet, for decades, it's overshadowed by the war in public memory. The Spanish flu is a stark warning. Pandemics can strike anytime, anywhere. Its lessons on preparedness and public health are more relevant than ever. The silent killer of 1918 changed the world, and its echoes still guide us. Post-World War II, the world faces the Asian flu in 1957. A new influenza strain emerges in East Asia and spreads rapidly via global travel. Schools close, hospitals fill, and the elderly are hit hardest. But science has advanced. The virus is quickly identified, and a vaccine is developed in record time. The pandemic kills up to 4 million worldwide, but the toll is lessened by swift action. The Asian flu is a dress rehearsal for future pandemics. It highlights the value of vaccines, global surveillance, and international cooperation. Weaknesses in preparedness are exposed, but lessons are learned. The world is now more connected and more vulnerable. The Asian flu sets the stage for modern pandemic response. Just a decade later, the Hong Kong flu of 1968 emerges, a new influenza strain, H3N2. It spreads globally within months, aided by air travel and returning soldiers. Vaccines are developed quickly, but distribution lags in some countries. Up to 4 million die worldwide, with the elderly most at risk. The response builds on lessons from the Asian flu, but challenges remain. Public health messaging evolves, and global surveillance improves. The world is better prepared, but the threat of new flu strains is constant. The Hong Kong flu reinforces the need for rapid vaccine deployment and vigilance. H3N2 still circulates today, a reminder of influenza's adaptability. Each pandemic refines our response and our understanding of global health. The HIV/AIDS crisis is different, a slow, relentless pandemic that emerges in the late 20th century. At first, it's a mystery, striking marginalized communities and met with fear, stigma, and inaction. Scientists identify HIV in the early 1980s, but early diagnosis is a death sentence. The virus devastates sub-Saharan Africa and spreads worldwide, claiming millions of lives. Activism by groups like ACT UP forces faster research, access to treatments, and changes in medical policy. Antiretroviral therapy transforms HIV from fatal to manageable for many. Yet millions still lack access, and stigma persists. The crisis reshapes global health priorities and highlights the intersection of disease, justice, and human rights. HIV/AIDS teaches us the power of activism, science, and compassion. It's a pandemic that continues to evolve and to challenge us. The fight isn't over, but the response has revolutionized medicine and advocacy. HIV/AIDS is a lesson in resilience, innovation, and the ongoing struggle for equity. From Rome to HIV/AIDS, plagues have shaped our world, driving innovation and forcing societies to adapt. These aren't just stories. They're the foundation of modern public health, science, and social change. Each pandemic left a mark, teaching us about vulnerability, resilience, and the need for global cooperation. The legacies of these epidemics are woven into our lives today. Understanding this history prepares us for the challenges ahead, because microbes will always be part of our story. Thanks for watching. I'm Izzy. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more history that matters. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more.